Chinese Lu cuisine, or Shandong province cuisine, is one of the great 8 Chinese schools of cooking. Its recipes are rich and varied, benefiting from a long tradition. From Han Dynasty times, it began to develop, and after the Song Dynasty, it had become the quintessence of northern Chinese cuisine. Today, we'll examine the cuisine of the Lu people and of the Qi state through a magnificent 1,800 years old stone engraving from the Han Dynasty. During the Han Dynasty, stone engravings were lively portraits of the life of Han nobility, depicting their travels, conquests, and lifestyle, to be exhibited mostly in mausoleums or on a sarcophagi. A great many of these engravings have been found in Shandong province, and in the Linyi City Museum, one can enjoy some of their most breathtaking examples. Among them, one is particularly useful in depicting the culinary scene of the time. Entitled Engraving of Cooks in the Kitchen, it portrays the different cooking methods in vogue during the Han Dynasty in a banquet scene. In 39 AD, Han Emperor Wu Di Liuxiu conferred the title of Prince of Lengya on his son Liu Jing, granting permission for the construction of its capital in today's Linyi City, Shandong province. During that year, members of the imperial family and high officials moved in droves there, often holding great banquets during which the kitchens bustled with activity. The cooks would slaughter pigs, butcher lambs, scald chickens, or scale fish. The principal cooking methods during Han times were boiling, steaming, and roasting. Cooks would use huge fu pots to boil their delicacies, zung cauldrons for steaming them, and charcoal fire for their roasting. We can see a big pot suspended over the hearth while 2 people stand over the fire cooking. Over a different hearth, an enormous steaming cauldron is at work. Towards the top, a very peculiar utensil is being used, a smoke extractor. Indeed, from as early as the Han Dynasty, Chinese were already producing mechanisms to keep the kitchen environment clean. In the hustle and bustle of the kitchen, we find one cook cutting a fish open, while the readied fish lies on a plate next to him. Linyi City was rich in fish and shrimp, which from early times were used in some of the most delicious dishes of the Lu cuisine. With a long history stretching back to Han times, roasted skewers were also indispensable dishes in noble dining during the Han Dynasty. Indeed, we find a cook cutting meat into small pieces, while another one fans the fire so that a third one may place the skewers over the hearth for roasting. According to ancient records, soups were particularly popular in Han times. Lu cuisine used chicken, duck, and pork in their soup recipes, and in the engraving we find the pork, chicken, and duck probably being readied for use in the cook's famous soups. At the banquet, alcohol was plentiful. This vat surely contains fine liquor, and we can see one of the guests holding up a cup ready to try it. We see some servants, 2 of them raising a flask, another one holding a tray, carefully preparing the banquet table. With the guests seated, a song and dance troupe would proceed to delight them with their performance. We see 4 artists seated on a couch with sheet music before them. The dishes carefully laid for their enjoyment, while the servants wait on them on both sides. The engravings found in Linyi City are particularly clear. Their rich content, sparing no detail. The engraving of cooks in the kitchen certainly stands out, not only for its artistic accomplishment, but also as a historical testimony of the eating and drinking culture that flourished almost 2,000 years ago.